They deserve it.
All right, we're live now. Doug Fisher,
what's up?
What do you have going here? You got the.
I mean, it's the countdown, right?
Canelo, Golovkin. Yeah, we're just about
almost 1 month out.
Almost a month.
Yeah, it's coming,
almost a month
folks.
away, and you got the unsponsored hat going.
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
All right, and what happened? Hopefully I put on the thing. Hopefully the stream doesn't crash. We heard there was some issues.
Low blow,
you were there.
I was not there.
You weren't there. Oh, you were watching.
I was
the
at the
stream.
Avalon on Wednesday. To me, that was the experience.
What did you think
how
about,
does the stream go?
What did you think about Hollywood Fight Nights on Wednesday?
Hollywood Fight Nights was fun. That card went by so fast. Yeah. I couldn't believe, suddenly we're announcing the main event, and I'm just kind of.
Those were seven.
I feel like I just got here.
We had 7 fights.
7 fights.
Completely sold
fast.
out. It was our third show, and this
here's
one was.
What I like. I'm gonna tell you what I like.
Out.
It's a real club show. By the time you get to the co-feature and the main event, you'll see somebody who's world class or potentially world class. You got 2 real professional prospects in Brian Sabayo and Ali Akhmedov.
Right.
But I enjoy the 4 rounders between guys turning pro.
AB Lopez got fighter of the night.
He did. No, listen, he was in tough.
He fought an undefeated kid.
And I could tell he was stressed out, and it was great to see him deal with that over 6 rounds, 6 or 8 rounds, however many rounds.
It was 6 rounds, yeah.
Yeah. Very strong, mature guy unbeaten from the Philippines that he had to deal with.
That was the first time. You know what
Ortizo.
I heard? I heard that was the first time because AB was trained by Freddie Roach. That was the first time Freddie Roach was in one corner.
Marvin Samodia.
You were there, Coach.
Was in another one, yeah.
It was the best.
And Marvin was in the other corner.
Hey, I got to tell you,
Brian Valoria in that corner too.
The energy was so incredible that night.
But Dave, don't you feel like the energy is even more intense for these guys who are 18 and 19 years old with either 1 pro bout or 0 pro bouts?
I love
That's
pro
very special. I like that.
The first fight of the night, Marco Deckman. He brought a lot of fans out.
Yeah, he's got potential, and
good-looking
he's got
guy.
some charisma.
He brought a lot of girls out.
He does.
I think all of his girlfriends.
He seems like a character actor
came
too.
Out.
He could pull that off.
He was trained by Freddie Roach.
And you see when he was out there cheering for the other Freddie fighter.
Yeah, he was cheering for the.
And Freddie looked. Wow,
Freddie looked good. Freddie looked really good.
No, Freddie really looks healthy.
What was the bout where it was a guy turning pro against a guy who was 0-1?
That was Adrian Corona.
Yeah.
Ray Corona's son.
Ray Corona's son,
that was my favorite fight.
That was a great fight.
You understand? They have 1 pro bout between them. Right. But it's an excellent 4-round fight.
It was a good matchup. There goes Leo. Leo's practicing. Practicing.
We
got to
Caught
edit that.
When you go down, you got to get up.
Hold on 1 second.
Leo might not be able to. Might not be allowed. It's down for the count.
Leo's looking at Coach like, man.
Hey, I thought.
Oh, sorry, Coach.
I thought Corona was.
See, this is unscripted TV.
Not the script from your hands.
I didn't think Corona looked that great to me. I thought it was a closer fight.
I did too. I thought it could have been a draw.
Yeah.
I thought the right guy won though. Here's what's important.
He fought an 0-1 guy, but that guy came to fight.
I thought the right guy won, which was but I want to see both again.
Yeah.
And they both have a future because Corona's 18 years old. The other guy,
he fought at
what was his name?
Teofilo, forgot his
something.
last,
Was it Lopez or
no? But he came to fight.
Know.
And he was in shape. You saw at the weigh-in.
He's 19.
He was in he's in great shape.
Hey, speaking of Lopez,
and he sold tickets also.
I could hear his.
But speaking of Lopez, that other guy Teo something Lopez, the guy
Teofimo.
Yeah. How about? Did you hear his dad? The interview.
Oh, the dad is
that was the greatest
podcast goldmine
on 3 Knockdown Rule. Yeah. Steve Kim interviewed the father. You got to listen.
Oh yeah, that was a good interview. Yeah, with Steve and Mario.
What are the highlights?
And the kid's good too.
Yeah,
the kids.
They're exciting.
So let me just tell you this: last night, I thought Mario Lopez was as good as you get.
Mario was great.
I mean, that's not easy to do, and I don't think he's ever done that before, all by himself like that.
Mario
he's been
Lopez
on with you guys.
Color commentary.
But I mean, for him to carry that whole thing.
But he's got experience. He's been doing that since about 2003.
You mean
Mario
fights?
Does. Yeah. Doing color commentary. He used to
whatever.
work with Top
Mario
Gun.
is no stranger to the camera.
He's excellent.
No, but he
knows what he's talking about.
He knows his stuff. Yeah,
he really knows his stuff, and I thought it was really good. Maybe if HBO ever wanted to make a change, he'd be perfect for HBO.
He would definitely fit in there. Yeah, Samir was there on Wednesday night.
I'm excited to talk about Ali Akhmedov and how great he was. I mean, that was.
Wasn't there a lot of reaction from Kazakhstan?
A lot of reaction from Kazakhstan. There's a lot of fighters from Kazakhstan right now in the United States, but Ali got definitely a lot of attention. A lot of comparisons to Triple G and his punches, his 45-degree punches to the head. That was.
Well, he trains with Triple G. He trains with Abel Sanchez. So Dave, what do you think about this? So Abel Sanchez was there training Ali Akhmedov. Freddie Roach had 2 fighters.
Yeah.
A.B. Lopez and
Buddy
Marco
McGirt
Deckman.
was there.
Buddy McGirt.
Elvina White.
Buddy McGirt was training Elvina White, and
Hall
Ben
of Fame
Lira.
trainers,
Ben
man.
Lira was training Adrian Corona. That's like who's who of
And
trainers,
you know
right
who else
there.
is good though? Marvin.
Marvin's
That's true.
Marvin's
Marvin's an
very good.
up-and-comer.
Marvin
Yeah.
is very
Trainers
good.
go.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
But it was a great night. You know the
What
way
do you think,
kept,
JP?
Yeah, go ahead, Coach. What you
No,
saying?
the way you kept the fights going, and with the music in between, it just felt
Great
good.
atmosphere.
I mean, it was like
We actually sold out. We completely sold out of tickets
great.
for that show. So that was. We appreciate the fans' response. They came right. They came early, and it was a good energy, and
the food's good there.
and
But
the
a
food.
lot of these events, when a new promotion starts, when you start at 360, they'll have a great first event and it'll die off. And it seems like this is the third event and the momentum was building.
Yeah.
And this was the best one yet.
Ryan Martin headlined the first event.
Shavakov.
And then I saw in the ring after I saw
And Shafikov was the second one, and then Ali Akhmedov was.
I saw
this
Dan Goosen lookalike.
in tribute to Dan Goosen, I'm wearing the pastel jackets for the Hollywood Fight Nights.
One thing Samir and I were talking about Akhmedov, because I was very impressed with this guy.
He sparred with Bivol.
Yeah, he's very collected.
Getting ready for that fight.
I love his foot movement, his punching.
And Leo's in a good mood again.
Yeah,
by the way.
he was
So
in
no
with a
worries.
guy who Samir weighed almost 200 pounds, right?
190 at the
The
weight.
guy weighed 190.
Yeah.
So it's tough to get rid of a guy like
Yeah,
that.
he was
You
very
got him out of
durable.
there.
Yeah,
pesky,
yeah.
too.
Escalante.
Samir and I were talking about whether Akhmedov can make 168.
I think it's easy for him.
I think he can go. I
He
think.
came in at 173 for the weight, and he was fine. Like he didn't feel any fatigue or anything.
So I think we might see Ali Akhmedov with that Big Bear air up there, maybe coming down to
Hey, I have a
168 pounds.
question. I have a question.
Coach, you're the club show expert.
I am. I really am.
So
And
with
I'm
the third show being sold out, what did you? Oh, and the stream, I heard the stream was solid. Didn't crash
was really good.
throughout the whole.
You know,
throughout the
my
whole
stream
show.
for Golden Boy
Yeah.
last night didn't crash.
And how'd you watch it?
I watched it on a laptop.
So yours went all the way through.
It went all the way through.
Did you watch it on? Do you
I
remember
don't.
which Facebook page it was?
I think there were a couple different
Was it
servers.
the
on
Golden
that.
Boy Fight Night? Because for me, it went out. I was watching it, I think, on the Ring TV Facebook page, and after the 4th round of the main event, it went out, and I couldn't get back on. And then on Twitter, I was hearing people say, "Well, it's working fine on my phone." So then I
Ryan-
tried to get on my phone
Ryan
as well, and
Scalia.
it still wasn't working.
Hey, Ryan.
Right.
But then I
I got a good comment here. Ryan Scalia said that stream last night was a 180 from 360.
180. That's pretty good. The king of the hit. Ryan
We
Scalia.
discussed yesterday, so I also want to give a shout out to the DJ for the Hollywood Fight Nights.
All right.
I think he done a
He's
really
good,
good
yeah.
job.
Yeah, it was good.
So just a shout out to him.
Oscar Vega, yeah, he
Hey,
does.
so I
he
have
does
a
good
question,
job.
JP. What's the line on if Urban Myers
Sorry?
gets fired?
Oh, he's toast, right?
Oh yeah.
You know who Urban Myers is?
No.
Football
No
coach.
clue.
Football coach.
Wait.
He's toast.
No clue.
On whether he keeps his job or not.
Yeah, what's
Going down for sure.
What do you think, JP? Do you think he
Minus
keeps it?
400 that he gets fired, right? He's getting
What's the
fired.
line on it? You know?
Oh, I don't know. I'm guessing, but he's getting fired, right?
I don't know. They're really trying to keep him there.
And we also had on that Hollywood Fight Night,
Yeah.
we had the Superfly media lunch.
Yeah, that's
Where
right.
we had
Ioka.
Strada was there.
Looking
Ioka.
sharp. Looking
Everyone
sharp.
is waiting
I've been told
to see
it's Ioka.
Ioka.
It
Thank you.
is.
That's right.
It is
Baca told
Ioka.
me
Yeah, I
Ioka.
stand corrected. It is.
Ioka.
It is Ioka.
That's right.
McWilliams Arroyo. His plane got delayed from Puerto Rico, but he came for the fight night, so he was there talking to the media. So
what
we
a
had a
fight
great.
that is.
Donnie Nietes was there. Ashton Pollock-Tay was there.
Wow.
So Superfly
Nietes
3,
is,
September
in-
8th,
in
right,
the
Coach?
top- the
Right?
Ring
At the
Magazine's
Forum,
top 10
at the
top
Fabulous
That
top
Forum.
farm with,
And,
with really customer-friendly, fan-friendly prices. It's really cheap.
I think it's
$25
starts with
to get in
$25
for a lower bowl,
25.
right?
How much?
Yeah.
That's the same as 25 to park.
It's the same as might be $20, but yeah, definitely $25 lower bowl. You get to see the not only the 3 Superfly HBO triple headers, but we have a great undercard as well.
So I'm gonna let everyone know about the parking now.
Okay.
Because now there's
it.
multiple lots.
I found Easttown, which was very good. It's covered parking and it's secure, and that's only a block away, and that was easy to walk. Easttown. I think if you stay the whole time, it's $20, but it's you don't have to worry about.
Here's a block away. If you go Selma and Vine, this is the block away, and you go 1 block west. There's 2 or 3 parking lots. They raise their prices though to $10.
Okay.
It was $10. So there's about 3 or 4 lots that are within 2 minutes.
And they're not as crazy as right on Vine Street, right?
Right, and it's only $10.
So what is the roads, the crossings?
Well, the street between Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard is called Selma. That's parallel to those. And then Vine Street is a street that the Avalon's on.
Right.
And this
Selma
is
and
in
Vine.
the first block west of Vine. And there's a place you can park indoors for 10, and there's a place outdoors for 10. So it's a lot.
Got to keep that in mind on Selma for $10 for the next Hollywood Fight Nights. It looks like it's going to be end of October, beginning November. So we want to get throughout the holiday before the holidays.
Sure. But you could feel at this time that the whole thing, the experience of the first 2 play. This was so smooth, so good. The energy was great. It felt good. The way the one fight's over, the next fight's coming in. Yeah. The music, the thing,
I like the matchmaking.
And Joe Hernandez.
How did you like the Tecate girls?
They're great.
Stunning as always.
But Joe. What's the announcer?
Joe Martinez.
Joe Martinez is really good.
Yeah, he's good.
Wow, he's good. He's so professional.
Absolutely.
But he's not over the top,
Right.
He's good.
And he's fluent in Spanish.
Sure.
And the California Commission gave away a pension check.
Yeah, people don't realize that they've had a pension for several decades.
Right.
And who is that guy?
And you don't have to be a native Californian, or you just have to have fought in California.
I have a trivia question.
Nelson Taylor actually got a check
Right.
decades ago for that one fight that he had against Terry Norris.
I think it goes by either number of rounds or number of fights. I think it was like 5 fights in California, and then you're eligible for the pension.
Right.
But the trivia question, Coach, since you're the king of the trivia, who received the pension check?
That was Greg Puente.
Greg Puente. And what's he famous for?
He was Shane Mosley's first professional opponent.
First professional fight against
Shane Mosley, and he was also the state champ at the time. So when Shane Mosley turned pro, he fought he fought the California state champion, lightweight champion.
And how many rounds?
5 rounds. It was a 5-rounder.
Yeah.
Which are rare. It's usually 4 and then 6 rounds, but you can have a 5-round scheduled bout, and it was scheduled.
And what was the point? What kind of scoring system do they have then?
No, they had 10-point must system. But if you go back to like the 70s, California had a 5-point scoring system.
Well, they had the winner of the round was 6-5.
Oh, okay. That's how it was.
They had a 5-point, then they had a
Yeah.
thing
That's
where
what
it was
you're saying,
6-5
yeah.
the winner.
Hey, I'm glad that you guys mentioned it. Oh, he's mad now. He wants to. Okay.
It's all right. It's just a
I'm
bottle
glad
of
that you
water.
guys mentioned Joe Martinez, because this guy is such a pro and he's so underappreciated. Joe Martinez is a great
And he has
ring
perfect
announcer.
posture.
Very good ring announcer.
Good.
I'm really a fan of Joe's. And
He does everything.
He
too.
does everything.
Yeah.
You've seen him
Not
in
just
England at the
boxing.
fights. He does the MMA.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, I tell you who was
Worldwide.
there. Who was there? Bruce Buffer.
Buffer.
Oh, yeah, Bruce
Oh,
Buffer, the
my
legend.
God.
That blew my mind.
Voice of the UFC.
Yeah.
We get to that's a great thing about Hollywood
Bruce
Fight Nights.
Buffer
We get
was
celebrities
there. I
stopping by.
forgot.
Yasuil Puig was there the first time.
Yeah.
Mario Lopez was there for that second
But
show.
who's the most
Bruce
famous?
But
Buffer
Bruce
was there.
Buffer
Bob
trumps
Shapiro.
everybody.
How about Bruce?
No, Bruce
Trampler?
Trampler.
Trampler.
Happy birthday to
Yeah.
Bruce Trampler.
Oh, yeah,
Hall
that's
of
right. He
Fame
had a birthday,
matchmaker.
yeah.
Just recently. Yeah, he was at the first one, which was
So I'm
that blew my
wearing,
mind.
I'm wearing the Triple G Jordan. We're there. People on Twitter were asking me when's the new collection coming out. So it will be out in September. And even for the UK fight fans, we're working on getting some merchandise out to the,
Hey, so
to the
also,
UK as well.
everyone, you got to read the Ringside Boxing Show. I have talked about it a lot, but no one's ever commented. But if you go, I just went on this morning, and it gives you all the headlines, the stories. One story is about when Bob Arum had the plane crash in Big Bear.
Right, remember
The
that.
other one is what's happening to HBO was really interesting article. I sent it to you.
Saw that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, wow. I mean, HBO. I don't know what's happening.
Well, they got Superfly coming up September 8th, and they got the biggest fight in boxing on HBO pay-per-view with Triple G and Canelo, and Triple G, Cinco de Mayo, right, Doug? He had the highest rated show on premium cable for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's
a million,
spurts.
A little bit over a million.
And now Vanas is a big hero. I love Vanas.
Yes.
He was
Vanas was there.
He was there, yeah.
Vanas, wow.
Yeah, and
and actually, last night, Vanas's trainer trains that other guy that was on Armenian guy.
Yeah.
Which one?
The
Peruvian? Or Vargas?
The guy who's undefeated.
Vargas,
The guy who's undefeated.
He's good. They're both good.
Hey, that guy is really good.
Yeah. He was Olympian for Vargas was Olympian for Armenia.
Really?
Wow. Now, what's the name of the guy that fought last night?
Last night.
Lucky
was someone else.
Lucky Boy.
He's good too.
Yeah, they're
Lucky
both
Boy.
really good. They're both southpaws, both aggressive.
Lucky
And
Boy.
even Canelo made an appearance for the Hollywood Fight Nights. Were you surprised? You were announcing the fights.
I got to be honest with you, Tom. I thought he'd be in better shape.
I was gonna.
but I had to admire his fashion sense. I love that sweater. You know.
That was unscripted. He was like, I was going to introduce the fighters, and I see him standing there by the ring. I said, "Oh, Canelo's here," and then I brought him up. I lost my voice. Otherwise, I could have done a much better,
Yeah, but
Could have had a
much
whole
better
routine.
interview.
Yeah.
Could have asked him like, why did he fight the way he did the first fight, and why did he eat so many beef tacos and all
Why
that
did he
stuff.
run
But
so
it was
much?
pretty good that Canelo showed up for your club show.
Hey, he's
I like that.
helping to
He
promote
was
his fight.
He heard Bruce Buffer
Some
was
people
gonna
say
be
he's
there.
not letting anyone in his training camp, so he's out there promoting the fight. JP, speaking of the big fight, September 15th, the big rematch, biggest fight in boxing. What's the odds and what's your prediction on
Okay, so
that?
the odds are anywhere from -150 to -160, and we heard that Westgate took a big wager this week.
That's
the rumor.
Has, yeah.
That's the rumor has it.
How
That's
much?
what I've
So
What
heard.
do
was
you
it?
expect when?
What are we
when,
talking about?
It was your bet, right?
6 figures?
That's what I've heard. I got to confirm it, but I need to call a few people out in Vegas. But there's supposedly 150,000 on Triple G.
That's 6 figures.
What's your?
it's a big bet.
Wasn't my bet, but what's your prediction as far as how? Because the viewers like to know how the
Sure,
odds
sure.
are going to.
Real quickly, shout out to Rich Murata who made these shirts for. I think Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame's coming
That's
up
right.
pretty soon.
It is.
So
That's right. We
Ri-
should talk about
yeah.
before you go on the odds. We should
Yeah.
talk about the Nevada Boxing Hall of
Rich
Fame
is
because
overcoming a heart attack this year, so God bless Rich, and we're thinking of you. Rich Murata is an
And he's
all-time
back
great.
on.
Is he?
doing
the
radio.
radio here.
Yeah, KFI.
Yeah, he's back on KFI.
So he
like
has started the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame.
Fame, yeah.
And is it this weekend? It's coming up.
coming up.
It's August 22nd. The reason
22nd.
I know, no, not August 22nd. Sorry, August 18th. The reason I know is because Kevin Kelly is going to be inducted into the
Fantastic.
Nevada Boxing Hall of
Nice.
Fame.
Worthy.
Shane Mosley is going to be inducted.
Obviously worthy.
I worked with Shane. I worked with Kevin for a long time. Layla Ali. I did 2 fights with Layla Ali. Once when she fought on Vladimir Klitschko's undercard at the Garden, and then once when she fought in Berlin, in Germany. So
Why do you think
Layla is,
Layla quit fighting? I know why.
Layla, I think she accomplished everything she needed to accomplish, and she was so marketable, and she really put women's boxing back, back at a completely different
But
level.
she didn't want to fight Ann Wolf, which was a smart move.
Would you want to fight Ann Wolf?
A lot of guys would be swerving Ann Wolf.
Hey, Ann Wolf is my hero. I love Ann
Hey,
Wolf.
Coach, so here's what happened is that I flew up to Vegas. You know, we went to the weigh-in together for the first Triple G fight.
Yeah.
And I bet on Triple G, and I got a -140 price. For people that don't know, that's every 140 you put down, you win $100. So that was the best bargain price you could get on Gennady before that fight. After the weigh-in, the money came in on Gennady, and it went all the way up to -200 in spots. So Canelo was never the favorite in that first fight. So my question to you guys, you can tell us this week, you can tell us on Periscope, write into everybody on Twitter, what do you think the odds will finish at the week, 34 days from now? Will Canelo be the favorite? Will Gennady be the favorite? Will it be about even? Because right now we're seeing Gennady a slight favorite again. There was a big wager this week on Gennady. Which way do you think the odds will go? And do you guys think this fight will go the distance or not? Let us know.
Isn't the pattern typically? I'm not a boxing expert,
Yeah.
but I mean a betting expert. But isn't the pattern typically for a big Mexican holiday like either Cinco de Mayo or Mexican Independence Day that money during fight week will come in as the Mexican fans
does.
show
Yeah,
up? Is
it
that
does.
the trend?
For
or
many
the
years,
pattern?
Marquez versus Pacquiao, De La Hoya versus anyone.
It's
for
the
many years.
emotional betting.
Yeah.
Sure.
And sometimes
Until
there's
the
bet
weigh-in, and then a lot of smart money comes
a
Yeah.
lot of smart money left.
I think it'll be close to even money.
I agree, Doug.
Could be.
Come fight night.
Well, there's a lot of interesting dynamics, Doug. Look, Gennady is a year older, so everyone's thinking that Canelo waited until he was 35 in order to fight him. Now he's 36.
Right.
Canelo hasn't fought for a year, so there's that dynamic.
That's a factor. Yeah.
Canelo has the confidence of going 12 rounds with Triple G. Canelo's predicting a knockout now for his
That's what I'm
Mexican
hearing
fans that booed Canelo for the first time.
I'm hearing a lot of industry
He's promising
folks.
a knockout.
I'm hearing from a lot of industry people, like managers and promoters, that they're favoring Canelo coming in, and they just chalk it up to, hey, he fought pretty well. Maybe he didn't win the first fight, but he fought well in the first fight. He's 27, Gennady's 36.
We just hope there's
They
no,
keep it that simple.
We
They're
just
just
hope
like,
there's
it's a young man's game.
We hope there's no controversy of the scoring this time, because I think 90% of the people thought Triple G won the first fight.
Right.
And we just don't.
And that's a huge
we just
factor
want
that
a
hasn't been talked about.
fair scoring,
And
even playing
this
field
is what
for
I
this fight.
pointed out to those industry folks, is that there's such a thing as a makeup score in boxing, where if there's a really controversial first fight, the fighter who the media and the public believes got screwed in the first fight, he'll get the benefit of the doubt in the rematch. That happened with Lennox Lewis when he fought Evander Holyfield. Their first fight.
It was also two different locations, wasn't it?
It was two different
one
locations.
Was in New Jersey,
That's true.
Right? Or was
No,
it
the
New York?
first one was in New York
New York.
City. It was at Madison Square
At the Garden,
Garden,
right.
and the
And the
rematch
second
was
was
at
in
Thomas and Mack Center
in Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Right.
But the rematch was very close to being a legit draw. But two of the scorecards were wide for Lennox Lewis.
Were they
And
wide?
I sat with the British media, and they're not shy about being biased. They're not shy about being homers for their guy. A lot of the veteran writers that I was sitting with, they were saying, like, I think Lewis might have lost that. And then the score was announced, and they said, well, this makes up for the first fight. And that's a real thing. So, I mean...
Well, we wouldn't mind that, but...
No, I know.
We just want
You don't
fair,
need that.
we
You
just
guys
want
don't...
fair score. We
you
wouldn't
don't,
want
you don't
fair
want
scoring
that,
in the first fight.
What I'm saying is,
and
Canelo's
JP
got to do a little bit more. He can't do the same fight and expect to win. Even if he legitimately shades it, if I'm thinking, if there's going to be a close round in this fight, because of the controversy of the first fight, because of the scrutiny that the commission has received, the Nevada Commission has received, not only for the scorecards, but for the way that the whole clenbuterol scandal was handled, how Abel pointed out the whole hand wrapping thing, and how
the hand
got off
wraps
the
are
scale.
definitely, we confirm the hand
But
wraps
there's
are definitely illegal in California.
So, right,
the
but
same,
what I'm saying
the same
is,
language, but they're not
there's
legal
scrutiny.
in California.
There's a lot of eyeballs on them.
And
Get
then
this
the
right to
weigh-in
be
also.
fair, so they might bend over a little bit backwards. So I'm just saying, if I'm Canelo, if I'm Team Canelo, I'm wanting him to do more.
Well, he's a
Every
challenger,
round, you
doesn't
got to
he?
do more.
Doug, you've been in this for a long time.
Yeah.
Doesn't the challenger have to take the title
Absolutely.
from the champion?
You gotta
Why
make
do you
it
think
clear.
the first fight, when every even round went to Canelo and Triple G is the champion, doesn't the challenger have to try to do more in order to win the title? I mean,
Yes,
Canelo's still the challenger.
unless the challenger is a big star.
Well, there you go.
I mean, that's just Vegas.
When
It's
will
always
we
been
know the
Vegas.
judges? Pretty soon? Because at this point, I'd rather take Adelaide Bird than Don Trella. I don't want Don Trella.
Trella. Well, because here's the thing: Adelaide Bird was just being Adelaide Bird.
Yeah.
She usually has like a really bad scorecard. She's got a problem with understanding what boxing is, really. Trella is a sneaky dude, man. Trella's cards are like they'll be
The ironic
close,
thing is,
but
Adelaide Bird gave 2 rounds to
he's
to
sneaky
Triple
about
G, and one of them Don Trella gave.
Trella's
to,
sneaky about
the 7th
giving
round. That must have been a
rounds to the
landslide.
house guy. Those are the guys you got to watch.
Well, he wants his next job.
Yeah, that's.
Well, we just hope that the next fight ever, look, if Canelo wins and he's the better man, then he should get the decision.
Yeah, listen, I thought it was a
If
close
Triple G
fight,
wins,
an
then he
even
should get the
matchup going
decision.
into the first fight.
The
I thought
best-
it was 60-40 going into the first fight, favoring Triple G, and I think that's about the same going into the rematch.
The best solution would be if there's a knockout. Look, Canelo's predicting a knockout. In order to get a knockout, what do you have to do?
You got to work.
You got to fight.
You gotta put in
You got to
work.
come forward. You got to fight. You got
Yeah.
to throw punches.
Absolutely.
Didn't Triple G
And you
outland
can't
it?
admire your work. You can't throw like a couple combinations and then say, okay, I'm going to back off and I'm going to just do my defense.
I think that's
Defense
what-
is great, but you got to mix offense with
I
defense.
think that's
if you
what
wanna
tricks
really
a lot of
win.
judges is if you have a flurry for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But then the other guy wins the other 2.5 minutes of the round.
That's the guy who
then
should win the round.
you get swayed. Yeah.
Unless in that flurry,
Well, if
you
get-
hurt the other guy.
Right, if you hurt him.
That's different.
Did you see Canelo hurt Triple G in the first fight?
It's very hard to hurt Triple G.
I think I had an interview in Big Bear where Canelo landed his best punch, that uppercut, remember? And I took a step backward
Oh, yeah, I
and then
remember.
went 2 steps forward.
Yeah.
So.
That's,
But
that's
Canelo's
gonna happen.
confidence should be higher. He got a lot of grief the way he fought, and so I think for his Mexican fans, remember his quote: "He's the only true Mexican in that matchup." And Abel was always critical that he didn't fight like a true Mexican. Whatever that's defined as, it's not defined as going sideways. Against
So let us know what you guys think
But
the
it'll be a
odds
great
will go.
matchup, yeah.
Let us know how you think the odds will move. What we
Who
say?
are you betting on?
I'm going with Gennady. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean,
Who did you bet on for last night, the main event? Did you
okay,
bet
so
the
so I-
Diaz-Rojas
yeah, I
fight?
promised Barbosa I would talk a little bit about last night. So I don't want to go crapping on Golden Boy. I know they had a lot of problems with the streams, but here's what I would recommend going forward. It can't just work on a computer or on a phone. It's got to work across the board. It's got to work on the Facebook app, on TVs.
yeah.
So test all that stuff because
Right.
you only get one chance to make a first impression, and now everyone thinks that it's terrible. And
And do you know anybody who accessed the Facebook app on TV, like using Roku or Fire
did.
Stick? Oh, you did.
and it
Okay.
didn't work.
It didn't work at all from the get-go.
No, it stopped after round 4.
Oh, of the
Like
main
most
event.
people. Of the
That's
main
now,
event.
see, that happened.
Worked perfectly.
That happened to me on my laptop. Stopped after round.
There
Which,
was
which sucked because I thought it was a good card. I thought
It was.
starting off with
There's
Aaron
some solid
McKenna,
fights, yeah.
like he's a teenager that from Ireland.
He
and
was
everyone's
out-
saying
what?
that
I was out
you
here
want to watch
during-
this kid.
I was out here during the week, and they were out here. That whole Irish clan was out
Oh,
here.
were they?
Aaron McKenna was out
It
here.
is a clan,
running.
yeah. It's- he's got his brother and
nice
his
guy,
dad.
remarkable guy, nice guy.
Yeah, and was Courage
His father.
Shabalala with him, the
Yeah.
South African heavyweight?
Yeah, and I know Courage.
That dude is awesome.
I know Courage because he was
Used
a
to
sparring
spar with the
partner
Klitschkos.
With
the
Vlad,
I've
yeah.
seen that. That was
Yeah, so he
that's,
came and he said hi,
Yeah.
and he had like 4 or 5 Irish guys with him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's
running
a bunch of
around.
Irish folks
Yeah.
out here.
Nice guys.
Shouts out to Ken Shear of Shear Sports Management that manages the McKenna brothers. But Karobian is one. He's like 20. He's somebody to keep an eye on. He's an exciting prospect. And then I really thought the fight of the night was the 2 undefeated advanced prospects, Jonathan Navarro against
That was
Damon
a good
Allen.
matchup. Oh yeah, and Jonathan Navarro was the nephew.
Nephew.
The guys I used to manage, Nacho,
Nacho
and Carlos Navarro.
Carlos.
Carlos Navarro, El Cerdo de Oro. Remember, he was
a great U.S. amateur.
Yeah.
Great amateur.
He
Was a
beat
rival of Floyd Mayweather.
Beat Floyd, and then he lost to Floyd
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
draft.
probably at his best at 119 pounds, where he was kind of like beating like the best Cubans and Russians and all that stuff.
Very-
Tell you
very
what was
solid prospect.
really good on the fights, having Roberto Diaz.
Yes.
I mean, he is so good.
He's excellent.
Yeah.
knowledgeable matchmaker.
Right,
yeah,
and
definitely,
that
yeah.
little segment, you guys had him on your
The
that was
Glasgow
smart.
shows.
That was
Yeah, we used to do
smart
that.
too.
And he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good on
and
camera.
he looks good. He's
Speaks well.
always good.
And
he
he's
knows-
a good matchmaker. Those
Yeah.
fights
Yeah.
were
He
good.
made
He's
some
a good
good fights.
The main
Yeah.
event was I haven't seen it. I saw the first 4 rounds and I saw the last
he
3
knows his
rounds.
stuff.
And it just looked like it was nip and tuck all the way,
He's a good
really, is what it
matchmaker.
looked like. But I have to see it in its entirety. But that was a good matchup on paper that played out in the ring of
Yeah.
Rojas
To
versus
answer your
Diaz. It's
question,
too bad that the technology.
I tell you
was-
what else was good. That girl they had was a Cynthia Conte wannabe.
Cynthia's way better.
Cynthia-
Way better.
Cynthia's a great
way
shout out
better.
to Cynthia
Yeah,
Conte,
hey,
host of
Cynthia, she's
Hollywood
trying,
Fight
way
she
Night.
better
tried to
than that
copy
girl.
a Cynthia, but she was good. That girl was good.
Yeah, she's good.
She knew her stuff too.
Oh, she's a
but not like
broadcast veteran.
Cynthia. It's incredible how Cynthia knows,
Cynthia does her homework, everything.
and she's into it.
Yeah.
And she's
And,
got a
you-
lot
and,
of
you-
energy.
and you can feel it.
And she
keeps
has a
it
lot of
going.
fans now worldwide. And Ryan Martin was there at the Hollywood Fight Nights. Remember, he was in the ring. He's going to be at the part of the World Boxing Super Series, the 140-pound division.
And he's fighting a real guy.
Yeah,
I
fighting,
tell you what,
Society,
fighting,
that's
Josh
a
Taylor.
his work cut out for him.
But that's a good question for JP. How do you handicap that tournament?
So they've
the
got
whole
odds on it.
140-pound
I'll
tournament
pull them
and-
up as
and-
Coach is talking.
and,
Look, I'll tell you the odds.
and that
Okay.
fight.
I'll tell you the odds.
Just
of the
real
first
quick to
fight.
answer your question, JoJo was a 5-1 favorite last
Oh, he
night,
was.
but people actually bet on Rojas to bring the odds down, which I understand.
Yeah.
I think that was a fair bet.
Yeah.
And so JoJo closed around a 2.5 to 1 favorite.
But
and I
did
think
you put money on either guy?
I did not.
Okay.
Because I thought Rojas was live.
Yeah.
But I know that JoJo's tough. The one thing I'll say about JoJo, a lot of tough fights in a row for a young kid.
Hey, did you bet on that
Hard
woman's
fights.
Hard
the women's MMA fight with the bad decision?
Yeah.
And you lost.
Yeah. Well.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was a
Heard
bad
some
decision.
scream.
That was a bad decision.
But
Yeah, that sounded horrible.
That was horrible. She was. It was a kickboxing match. It's
Yeah.
probably the worst thing I've ever seen.
and the scoring wasn't good.
So one judge had it 50-45 for the defending champion, all 5 rounds, and the other 2 went 48-47. But if you look at the strike stats, it's one of the worst decisions I said in combat sports history. But the girl from France, is, I think she's from France, great fighter, Mexican. She'll rematch her and beat her. That was horrendous, though.
Is that as bad as the 10-2 score for Canelo?
It was equivalent. It was very, very bad.
47th round.
Okay, so our guy Ryan is going to fight in this tournament, right?
Yes.
I'll give you the
odds.
I'll give you
Okay.
the price on that fight.
All right, so
Let
Josh
coach
say-
let Coach predict it.
I'll
Coach
give-
predict it, and then you can.
I'll give you.
Okay.
Okay, I'll tell you. Okay,
Okay,
against
we'll
Josh
go through
Taylor.
that. We'll go through. Yeah, Josh Taylor and
Okay.
Ryan.
Okay. I say Josh Taylor is a 2.5 to 1 favorite.
Yeah, it's understandable. Josh Taylor's a 4-1 favorite, which I understand. We know Ryan's the
favorite.
underdog. We're rooting for Ryan.
Yeah.
We hope he does well. We don't know where the fight is yet,
We don't know where it is at.
so that determines a lot.
That would determine a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, you're one of your favorite fighters, Andre Ward. If you remember the Super 6 tournament,
Yeah.
Andre Ward was the underdog. Remember?
Yeah.
Yep.
Huge.
JP, who was Abraham was a favorite.
Abraham
Kessler.
and Kessler.
And Kessler were the two
Which,
favorites.
looking back, is crazy.
And Andre Ward came out. He won the tournament. He
Yeah.
beat Froch. Froch was one of the favorites too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beat Froch.
No,
So I
Froch
think
was not. Froch was not considered a
Not a-
favorite.
not a
But
favorite.
by the end of the tournament, he was
yeah.
like
So
live
I look
to
at
win
that.
it all.
Doug, I look at that a very similar
Because
situation.
both Froch and Ward proved themselves during the tournament.
Right. That's right. They
Yeah.
rose up there. Yeah.
Especially awards.
So I look at Ryan
Yeah,
Martin being
especially
in a
Ward,
similar
'cause Ward was
situation
really a prospect going
as
into it.
Andre Ward. Yeah, Andre Ward was the gold medalist, but
Yeah.
he wasn't. He wasn't.
He didn't really beat anybody.
Yeah.
So he had like Edison Miranda on his
So
side.
Ryan's the underdog, but don't count him out. Ryan's a great fighter,
He's really
and we're
good.
rooting for you. And it's a tough fight. And the favorite of the tournament, actually, I think Taylor's the number 2 seed.
I
Regis is the
think
number.
Pro Gray is
Yeah.
the number 1
So
seed.
you know that's very good fighters. Those tournaments.
That's a
are-
great tournament. That's a
Great.
deep tournament. Ryan Martin's training, sparring up in Big Bear with Abel Sanchez.
Awesome.
So
With
I think
big Joe Joyce. I saw Joe
Joe
Joyce.
Joyce
fight.
is up there. Yeah,
Big guy.
And El Perro is up there too.
Yeah.
He was sitting next to-
Alfredo.
He's the
Angulo.
reason I first heard about Triple G.
That's right.
before
You
he
went
was
up-
Triple
didn't
G.
You go up to cover him, and then you
Well,
saw
no,
him
I had
just run
heard the Sam
we were
Sam
sitting right next to
Garcia.
Yeah, he sat
right
next
next
to
to
us.
yeah. Angulo was there also.
Yeah.
Distinguished looking guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
And a great guy, by the
Yeah.
way. No, I had Sam Garcia was up in Big Bear, and he said this is in 2010, late 2010. It was before an Angulo fight. Angulo was fighting on Showtime. This is back when Angulo was like undefeated, or maybe once beaten, but he was a beast.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm seeing this guy handle El Perro
And
in the
was it?
gym every day, and I'm like, who is he? You know, these guys aren't detail oriented. They don't write names down or ask questions like, I don't know, I think he's Russian. He's with Abel Sanchez. He's this Russian dude. I'm like, but give me a name, man. He's like, man, we call him Superman. I'm like, okay. So I heard about him, and then I heard from a couple other people. I heard from like a Spanish sports producer was saying that, you know, Triple G had come down and given Chavez Jr. all he could
Right, he
handle
would
a
come
wild
to
card.
a wild
yeah.
card, that's right.
Yeah,
Abel
Abel would
would run
drive
a
a
wild
bunch
card,
of folks
yeah.
down, including two Russian light heavyweights and Sergey Kovalev and that Dudchenko guy.
That's right. He was working with Sergey. That was a big setback there for Sergey.
And when did
Yeah.
the nickname Triple G actually start? Is that an Abel thing?
He had that really the whole time. I mean, those are his
Yeah, back in
initials.
Germany.
Yeah.
And,
It was still
GGG, and then
Triple
it was called-
Just picked up, but
Because it was a lot
but
easier.
It was because of Angulo that I heard about. I first heard about him, and then I didn't see him until 2011.
You saw the sparring with Canelo,
He sparred with
right?
Canelo.
Right?
Yep.
That's when you wrote your article about how
Absolutely.
he was beating Canelo every round in sparring.
That was a great
Yeah, I
article.
mean, listen,
I'm just joking about
Canelo
That
didn't
was
look bad,
very
man.
competitive.
Yeah, it was.
Very
It was good,
competitive.
but that was the whole thing. Is Abel's like, hey, we don't try to beat each other up
Right.
in this
They're
gym.
just working,
It's
yeah.
you work, you know. And
But that's the
and
whole.
Golovkin was getting ready to fight Kasim Uma,
Right.
who's like, you know, Uma was
a
a
tricky
junior
veteran.
middleweight,
Yeah.
and he's got fast hands, and
Right.
Canelo's pretty quick, and so
Yeah.
this is good.
Yeah.
That's all.
And that's the difference with this promotion, Doug, is
Yeah.
the first time they had a lot of respect for each other. They trained together, they sparred together.
Yeah.
Now it's a completely
Yeah,
different
they used to
dynamic
be very
between these two.
complimentary of each other during interviews, and that's gone.
Gennady lost his respect for Canelo with all those with the test results, and then
If they both
Canelo's
empty the
pissed off at
tank, if
Gennady.
they both give it 100% on fight night, they will respect each other after 12 hard rounds.
I agree.
I
If
think
it
so,
goes
too.
the distance.
and it should be a lot of
And that's
a lot
how it
of
should be.
fireworks. A lot of
Even if it
fireworks
doesn't
on
go the
September
distance.
15th.
Right.
But
That's the easiest thing for the judges. If it doesn't go the distance, then
pressure off
they'll
the
be
judges.
Take the
relieved.
pressure
They'll be
off the
so
judges.
relieved.
They will
Yeah.
be. They really
No,
will.
because I tell you what, though, Triple G really has the edge on the judges this fight. Just on the backlash, it has to be. I don't care
that's a
who
thing
they
in boxing.
are, who they're
Of
for.
course. I'm telling people that.
backlash.
Yeah, but if it's Las Vegas and if Canelo
No,
has,
I don't think I don't think
you
it
know,
matters.
don't
I
know.
think that there's so much pressure on them, they're going to go the opposite way. If there's anything close, Triple G is
That's
getting it.
natural.
And that's why you
was for the scoring for the first fight. That was
the first fight it went the opposite way.
Went the opposite
But
way.
this way, that's why you have to bet on Triple G because he's got the edge this time. He really does. Plus, he's
That's kind of my thinking.
And what do you
And
think?
he's a great fighter.
And you know we don't.
He's got-
What do you think about those
you know what
photos?
it comes down to me? It's the jab. Triple G has a world-class, educated, consistent jab. It's consistency. That's the key. Canelo's got a great jab.
Here's the other
but he
thing.
uses it sporadically.
We don't know.
As is his offense, and that's the problem.
we don't know
We
about.
we needed you as a judge, Doug.
Yeah.
We
I
don't
thought
know.
I had a fair card, but you know what?
Well, how did
I
you-
was
how did-
working.
that's a good question. How
I
did you
had it
score?
7 rounds to 5 for Triple G,
So you-
but Kevin Kelly had it 9 rounds to 3, and I understood where he was coming from.
Kevin had 9 rounds. I think Harold.
And
Letterman
I
had
always
8
feel
rounds
like
to
I always
4.
feel like the truth is somewhere in the middle there, and that's how Letterman had it, and I could see all 3 of those scores. I really could.
Hey, so what do you think about the emotional stability of Canelo? I mean, that I'm not sure of that. I mean, he might be cracking.
I don't like to play Sigmund Freud, you know what I mean, going into a fight. Like, we'll find out once the fight starts. I think, generally speaking, Canelo, to get to where he's gotten, to be where he's at, he's strong mentally. So a lot, and he's used to pressure.
He's
Canelo's
never-
isolated from all that stuff.
He
focused
isolates
on-
himself.
And maybe not, because
Well,
this is
I don't
way
know.
more pressure than he's ever had.
I'm just saying, I've covered Canelo in Texas where he's like the king, and he steps out, and there's like an entire stadium, and everyone's there to see him do something sensational, and he accepts that role. Like he walked. If you look at Canelo walking out before the James Kirkland
He has
fight
a lot
in
of
Houston,
confidence, a lot of self-confidence.
it's like it's confidence, but it's calm. He's calm. He doesn't get overexcited. He doesn't give in to anxiety, and he just goes out and he fights his fight. When a lot of guys,
But he
even
wasn't
veterans,
confident when he
would be caught
vacated
up
the
with that.
WBC title.
No. Listen,
he can't use that
nobody,
name.
Nobody wanted Triple G in 2016.
he can't
It's
use
sad.
that. He can't use that name calm.
Who?
Does it? Canelo.
Canelo.
Can't
There's
use-
only one guy that can. use
Oh,
that
that's
name.
true. Yeah. Triple C.
Me and St. John had a lot of
Causing some controversy.
a lot of controversy on Twitter. Like,
Yeah,
you didn't see
there's
that?
questions
No,
about
what'd
this
you
right
do?
He was
now.
actually defending Canelo.
She said 95% of all of us take PEDs.
Yeah.
Us.
Like world-class fighters, which
Okay.
I thought surprising. It was surprising because Abel Sanchez won't even. Not only will he let a controversial boxer in his camp, but even a trainer
Yeah.
that's linked to any PEDs
Yeah.
won't even let him in his camp.
He
because
told me
then-
years ago, I
yeah.
won't let that poison in my gym
So,
because I know it's
so
out
she
there.
raised a lot of controversy in that in a couple of her statements. I think she
You know,
was.
you got to speak for yourself.
She was
Yeah.
somewhat. I don't know if she was defending. I don't want to put words in her mouth.
No, but a lot of folks
She
have
Send
said
out
that.
some
I heard
clarification
there was.
that there
I
was like
heard there was
emotional
a.
tweet or something like that. So she
I
threw
heard there
some-
was a podcast or a
think
show
she
with
took-
Brendan Schwab and Paulie Malignaggi, and he was saying like something to the effect: if you don't think everybody, every world class athlete, boxers included, are doing performance enhancing drugs, you're an idiot. You know, my response is, okay, guys, what were you taking then?
I don't think he said
Tell
everyone.
us what you.
I
Yeah,
remember
but
that
like
quote.
most,
It
but
was like,
most, I'm
yeah,
like, okay,
there was like
well,
a problem there.
but okay, so all right then. You know, listen, Showtime has got a lot of world class boxers. You know, fighting on there. Which one of those guys is on it?
Are they being tested?
Yeah, and who are they being tested by?
Hey,
Are
Tom,
they,
that's
and
why we-
everybody loves Mikey
Yeah.
Garcia. Is he enrolled in
That's why we
WBC's clean boxing
insisted on
program?
earlier testing. You know, and
Has he ever been VADA tested?
Who's that?
Mikey Garcia.
I don't know.
Tom, question about Canelo Triple G UK TV. Are there any updates about
Good question.
It looks like it's going to be on BT Sports.
BT Sports.
Sports
BT
on
Sports.
pay-per-view in the UK for all the UK fans. Looks like we're finalizing that deal, but that's the direction it's going into right now.
So I tell you, who else is there at your fight night?
Yeah, who else was there?
Bernie.
that? Oh, yeah.
Bernie said
was
he
there.
might
Now,
make an
Bernie-
appearance.
That was the first time he went to the
Double B.
Hollywood fight
Yeah,
night.
Bernie said he might appear
Now
here.
Bernie
Triple C and
had
Double B.
Bernie asked me
Trivia.
a question to ask you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember that
So
one.
Let's do
that's
it.
my one question. So,
All right.
Bernie suggested this. It was a great idea, Bernie. When Foreman fought the 5 guys on one night.
Foreman fights.
That was in
five.
Canada, right? Wasn't that in Canada?
think it
Because
might
I don't
have
think it was
No,
sanctioned
it
here in
was
the
in,
U.S.
it was in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, who were the 5 guys?
No clue. No clue.
Okay.
They weren't good fighters.
Were they?
No, they were good fighters.
Were
They
those
were okay.
exhibitions,
They weren't
or were
ranked
they?
guys.
Was
Yeah.
it? Did it actually count on his record
It was an
No,
exhibition.
actually,
as
okay.
an exhibition, like
Except
3-round exhibition or something like that?
all the guys he fought.
Listen, they'd probably be top 10 today.
No,
but
all
in the 70s, no, they were not ranked
Yeah, but
guys.
they all fought good guys.
Of course
all
they
these
did.
guys
That's
that
what-
he fought had
That's
fought
what
everyone.
professionals
Yeah,
did back in the day.
right. They had all fought.
You couldn't like pick and choose your way to the top,
So,
you know. Or,
do you have any idea who he fought?
No.
Alonzo Johnson.
Okay.
You know who that is?
I recognize
I
the
think it's
name.
better than Alonzo Highsmith.
Okay. How,
Yeah.
how about Jerry Judge?
Not familiar with
Okay,
him.
you know this one for sure. Terry Daniels.
Yeah, Terry
You know
Daniels.
that
I
one.
know, yeah.
Okay,
He
and
fought, he fought a
also
lot of good fighters.
Charlie Paulette. You know that one.
No.
And you know this one, Boone Kirk.
Oh, Boone Kirk, of course.
Yeah. So all these guys,
Yeah, they're like
Fought-
gatekeeper types.
I mean, they all fought Jack O'Halloran.
Yeah, the California State heavyweight champ
Yeah.
who was a character actor.
Right.
He was the big guy in Superman 2 from the Kryptonians villains. He was the giant that couldn't talk. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
California
yeah, he-
State heavyweight champ.
And he lives in Mar Vista.
Yeah,
Oh, I,
Yeah.
you know,
And he's-
I,
and
I
he was
know
good.
him.
He-
Yeah,
yeah,
I remember
he was
him.
good.
big dude, man.
Okay, and also
Giant.
they fought Scott Ledoux, Cleveland
Yeah.
Williams, Joe Frazier, Doug Jones, George Foreman, all these, Jimmy Ellis.
Wasn't Jack Allen? He was the guy Jaws on 007 also,
Yeah,
right?
007,
For
I
James
believe so.
Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug, you want to do
Tom,
a
question.
weekend preview real quick? Oh, you got a question for Tom?
Yes, where can we buy Triple G merch?
Jordan's coming out with new Triple G merchandise, and then we'll post some links for that. Normally, that's on the Nike.
Shop Triple G.
So normally it's a
that
Nike
as well.
website,
Not
right?
normally on the Nike website. There are supposed to be some Jordan. Also, for the people not online, would go to the Nike, the big Nike store in Las Vegas, also in one of the big one of the malls. So we'll post all the locations once they come
I
out.
want a Superfly shirt.
Yeah.
I would
Superfly
support that.
3,
That'd be a cool shirt,
September 8th.
Yeah, I've got
September
360
8th
promotions.
at the Forum.
It fits great. Shout out to Mike Styles.
Oh yeah.
Like so, he does and it's 360promotions.us.
Yes.
And the stream was
No interruptions.
uninterrupted.
You guys understand
for
bandwidth.
Hollywood Fight Nights, yeah.
Very good.
And can you have those?
But I want Superfly. I want a Superfly hat
Yeah.
or a shirt.
Those are good.
Seriously, I would wear it. Yeah.
Might
You wanna
need to
do
look
How
a
are the
weekend
ratings
preview?
on Superfly on HBO?
They've been very good. That's why it's become a franchise there. You know, for what they pay on their license fees and the ratings that they get. Look, the Superfly, when Chocolatito fought on Superfly 1, when we had Sister Cat and Estrada, was one of the candidates for Fight of the Year this year.
Still
So
is.
Chocolatito was at the press conference for the Superfly as well. Haven't talked about it. He was there.
who was that?
Roman
Chocolatito.
Gonzalez.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
How can we forget about Chocolatito?
Yeah, he was there.
Chocolatito
He's
was
still
there.
the king, Tom.
Chocolatito is slated to be on the Triple G Canelo show.
That's a great.
Part
that's
of
gonna
the
be a
crazy
pay-per-view.
It's a great
Part of the
pay-per-view, yeah.
but
Cecilia
the undercard
Breckus,
is-
we're looking into putting her on the preview portion
She should be there too.
of it. So it's going to be a great undercard.
I think
know
Jaime Munguia
Munguia will
might
be
be
there.
on there fighting Brandon Cook.
Is that
Golden Boy's
that's
That's a
talking
quick
about-
turnaround.
Yeah.
Cook and Munguia, good fight.
Golden Boy's talking about putting Munguia on.
Yeah.
They're talking about putting Lemieux and.
Lemieux
O'Sullivan.
and the guy.
That's
Spike
an interesting.
O'Sullivan.
Yeah,
I want to
that's
see
a
that.
good fight.
Oh, that's a middleweight dust-up.
Once
that
everything
is-
gets officially announced,
Entertainment.
it's going to be a great, great show.
Before Munguia fights Cook, if it is Cook, you
Yeah.
guys should track down Kanat Islam versus Brandon Cook in Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
That was a war.
Yeah.
That
No,
was a
Cook
war.
brings it. He
YouTube
brings
it.
the ruckus. He's Canadian, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a
Scully
tough-
knows all about Cook.
Tough
Yeah.
Canadian.
punch.
I like those matchups because when you get a pay-per-view, when you buy an HBO pay-per-view here in the States, it's like
Fans want
most
their
people.
value.
Well, it's like you have a party around it, right?
That's right.
And so, it's great to see, a lot of skill and world-class technique on display. But when it's a party situation, you got casual fans in, you know what I mean? And, people are eating, drinking, talking. You want to see in the build-up to the main event
see
that
some
everyone's there to see.
competitive fights.
You want to see competitive fights, but you want to see, action.
Right.
You want to see, drama. You want to see
Oh, yeah.
back and forth. You want
I
want
remember
blood and guts.
that
You
boring
really do.
party I went to for Mayweather Pacquiao. He was like like a huge party barbecue. Everyone was so excited. There was like a lot of Filipino people there too.
Yeah.
And it was just such a disappointment. And so when there's an action,
No disappointment
What about
on
the
September 15th.
What about the preview? Were we getting to that fight preview? What fights are coming up?
That's all.
That's
He's looking
JP?
up. He's looking that up.
JP,
the odds.
fight previews.
Okay, so Friday night on ESPN2, thankfully, not Facebook Watch, thank God. Andrew Cancio versus Dardan. You're gonna have to help me with his last name.
I just know Cancio's a badass.
He's the guy who knocked out Ricky Dule.
Oh, okay.
Sanjaya.
Zenujaj?
Yeah.
Wait.
Golden Boy card.
Zenujaj?
Good competitive fight with Kamagai on the undercard.
Oh, my
Nice.
favorite gatekeeper.
Kama guy is always exciting to watch.
Always
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Then we go to Top Rank, New Jersey, Saturday night. Bryant Jennings versus Dimitrenko and Jesse Hart. Shakir Stevenson on the card. And then the big card probably for this week is another fight of Tyson Furies and Carl Frampton. And we'll go with the pick of the week.
Tyson Fury, arguably still the lineal
Lineal
champion, right?
And possibly
The first guy to beat
Wilder
Vladimir
Fury maybe's going to happen. We'll see.
That's what the
We'll see.
rumors are.
Doug
yeah.
is taking off
Be a
after
good
my
fight.
son. My son's running out of energy over here.
So I've read a few things about Klitschko coming back.
What?
Yeah, I
I've
don't-
read a couple things. I don't know.
Yeah, and look, Vladimir stays in great shape, and I think he could beat everyone, including maybe in a rematch with Joshua or a fight with Wilder. Wilder was a sparring partner for him before, but I don't think that's realistic for him coming back. There was also rumors about Vitaly fighting Lennox Lewis at the WC convention. That was supposed to be an exhibition, but it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. So I think they're both happy. Look, they both had tremendous careers, historic careers for the heavyweight division. Vitaly is the mayor of Kiev, and I think they're happy with it. Vladimir just came out with a book, though. Just came out with a book. He's going to be on a book tour. Yeah, so look out for Vladimir Klitschko's book that's coming
he should
out.
come to Kazakhstan.
He might make that whole tour. Yeah. Did you know that Vladimir wrote a book?
Vladimir Klitschko?
Vladimir Klitschko, yeah.
And I
So-
bet you he
so it's
really
coming out.
wrote it. I
It's
bet,
like a
you, I
biography?
bet you it wasn't a ghostwriter.
He's
with that
one of the
dude.
smartest professional boxers.
no, he
there.
is the
He's
smartest.
very intelligent guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's ever like a world commissioner of boxing, Vladimir Klitschko gets my nomination.
That'd be interesting to read, actually. Like, I would really want to get into those details of his life and how the boxing progressed.
So you guys talked about the card with Tyson Fury and Carl Frampton.
We talked about that. A lot of people are looking forward for Tyson Fury coming back. I think that guy with his size, with his arm length, with his foot speed, with his hand speed,
With his personality
he
and
can give anyone,
charisma.
and he
Heavyweight
markets
division
himself.
needs it, yeah.
Showed up as Batman for one of the Klitschko press conferences. I mean,
Yeah.
he's an entertaining
Crazy.
guy. Says some controversial things, but
Yeah.
you can't take away the fact that he was the first guy to beat Vladimir after
Yes.
such a long historic run. So
Yeah.
you got to give him
We'll go
credit for
with
that.
the fight of the week, the pick of the week. Doug and I were talking. So there's a guy who upset Higa a few months ago.
Christian Rosales.
Rosales,
Good fighter. Good young
Nicaraguan.
flyweight.
defending the title against Paddy Barnes, the Irish Olympian, in Northern Ireland, Belfast. That
That was a big win over. Was that a fluke
Yeah.
with Higa?
No, well,
or-
Higa was weight trained.
It was not a fluke because
okay.
Rosales can really fight.
And
though.
Rosales is good. He was
And
a
Rosales
contender, top 10
gave
contender.
Andrew Selby a very good fight.
True.
So we'll go with, this is kind of a tough pick because it is in Belfast, but we'll go with Christopher Rosales on the road to defend the title. That'll
By
be,
knockout or by decision?
you think
Can
he's
he
going to
win
get
a
him?
decision?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Maybe he has to get that
That's a good
knockout.
question. Maybe he
Yeah,
has to get
thank
that
you.
knockout. But this guy brings constant pressure. He's a good body puncher. So we'll go with
So
Rosales.
that's the pick of the week.
That'll be the pick of the week. But if Barnes can win it,
Tell which one is yours?
that'd be amazing.
So what do you think about Bitcoin? What's happening?
Well, Samir and I have had a long talk about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And he has walked me off the cliff this week with my savings
What
account.
about JP? What about the legalized sports betting now in New Jersey?
Yeah, New Jersey, Delaware, Mississippi.
They have this.
So
You
it's
see
it's
that
getting
as
bigger.
being expanding, like to California and to other
It will
other
expand
states?
to California. The one thing that I've been listening to a lot of radio about is they've got to make sure. Okay. They've got to make sure that they have professionals doing this like they do in Vegas because I've heard a couple of the states haven't been prepared yet,
Oh, okay.
and it's gone a little bit haywire at the
Sideways,
beginning
okay.
because it's a lot to take on. It's teaching everyone about how to conduct the wagering and the payouts and keeping track of a lot of money. Because it goes from 0 to 100 really quickly. Everybody wants to bet. So Mississippi, Delaware. It'll eventually get to
And it was
California.
interesting because of that draw with Triple G and Canelo.
Right.
The UK fans that bet on Triple G didn't get their money back.
Lost the money,
Lost the money.
but in Vegas,
But in Vegas, you get your money back if it's a
you
draw.
do get a refund in boxing, not
So
in
why,
soccer.
why do
but-
you think that is? Why is Vegas different than UK?
You know, I've always wondered that. You know, I'll try to find that out this week and have an answer as far as
Because the
historically
UK
why
bookies
that's
just
the case.
want to, so they win regardless.
I used
of
to always
what
say
it
for several years there was a lot of draws on Eddie's cards. And I used to joke that it was the old Eddie Hearn sweep both sides because he would have a lot of the bookies sponsor the events.
Right. He
I
has
said,
a
everybo's
lot of
happy.
it. Right.
Everybody's
Will-
happy with the draw.
William Hill sponsors.
Will Hill,
this
who's
stuff.
expanded out here now and is
Right.
doing a lot of the
Comes
bigger
in.
books in Las Vegas.
Right.
And the great part about the William Hill books is they're such big boxing fans that they put up a lot of the UK boxing odds. So if you're ever looking for UK boxing odds in Vegas, I would go to the SLS or one of the William Hill books because they can offer a lot of the UK fights. Maybe you can get a bet on Rosales this weekend. So we'll see. So yeah, it's interesting to see what'll happen in California. I do think California will take a little bit, but we'll see. But you can still get to Vegas to bet on Gennady or Canelo if that's your preference.
Any of you guys going to WBC convention in September?
In Kiev, yeah,
Rostovsky,
it's gonna be a big turnout in Kiev. You don't need, as an American, you don't need a visa anymore to go to Ukraine. So that'll be a huge. It should be a great turnout there.
When is that? What weekend is that?
It's the first week of October.
Oh, first
There'll be
week
a lot
of
of great
October.
champions there.
Yeah.
Vitaly Klitschko will be there.
Sure.
And it'll be a great turnout there.
Tom, any
Kiev.
word on
Kiev is a great city.
It's
Great-
amazing.
Yeah,
Great city. Very.
Vitaly is the mayor
yeah.
of that great city.
Yeah.
So Mayor will be there too. That's
Yeah,
an
Mayor.
important
Any
event.
word?
Just
yet
inducted
on,
into the Hall of Fame.
Any word yet on
Vladimir
Usyk and
Vladimir
Bellew?
was inducted.
Are we
Usyk,
going to
Bellew.
Oh,
see?
you're right.
Vitaly.
I'm sorry. Vitaly, you're right.
It's been a long
Vitaly
week,
was,
Tom.
yeah.
Hey, so speaking of long weeks, last week you were talking about all the things you had to do this week.
Yeah.
You seem totally refreshed today.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking I was going to drive to Big Bear on Thursday, and I didn't do that. So that was a smart move. I'd be done because I
but you had a lot
worked
of
Friday night, and I was also considering covering the Avalon card at there. But then I was thinking, like, the story really is the stream. I want that experience. I want to be able to hear the commentators,
Right.
see the
That was
production.
first stream
And
on
actually,
Facebook.
I thought the production was good. I thought the commentary was good, especially Mario Lopez.
Lighting looked good. There.
Lighting was good. And most importantly, the matchmaking was good. The fights were good.
Yeah.
It's just the technology.
So
You
the
worked
streaming
Wednesday night
glitch.
also.
I worked Wednesday night. It was a busy week,
Yeah.
and
I'm
I was
sure.
coming off a family vacation, which I really needed a vacation for. But
yeah.
to recover from the family vacation, because that was insane. But yeah,
So you must have got a good night's sleep last night.
I think I was in bed before midnight.
And then you eat a big meal right before you go to sleep.
I
right?
ate I didn't. As a matter of fact, I had a big breakfast.
Yeah.
So I pretty much skipped lunch, and I didn't really eat dinner either. I had like a yogurt, like real healthy yogurt with like chia seeds or something up in there in the bottom, and all organic and all that.
Going back to the Facebook stream, I think they'll
Trying to be
they'll,
like-
they'll figure out how to get that fixed in the future.
Have
But
to.
They
all the
better.
controversy.
Dan Raphael
I think
went
it was,
hard on
it
it,
was a
didn't
lot
he,
of
on Twitter?
publicity for
Yeah.
Facebook for for that stream. So I think a lot of people will tune in next time just to see if how the
I
stream
mean,
is.
it's a good sign that many people
Right.
were tuning
Like, if
in
no one
at
was
the same
watching,
time.
no one would be complaining.
That's right.
So
no
that is-
one
that is a
would be
good sign.
complaining, and probably if they had half the viewership, it wouldn't have had any buffering problems or
Like you said, it was good matches. Good matches.
Well,
on that
remember
show
the
last night.
problems Golden Boy had with their streaming from Velasco?
Yeah.
The same problem every week,
Right.
and they didn't do anything about
Yeah,
it.
like the main event. like,
Everything. It
halfway
kept-
to the main event, it craps out, and then when you try to get back on,
I think with the Facebook
it's the
deal,
infinite
I
loop.
think they'll figure out a
Yeah.
way to
Yeah,
fix
because
that.
it's in Facebook's interest to protect their reputation as
Right.
well.
They have
and
to.
if I also share my thoughts, I think if that's truly a people kind of issue in terms of like
Here,
forecasting.
Samir, you need to be on that. I'm going to take over
I want to
again.
hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So I actually like.
Samir's the only one that understands the technology out of this group.
That's true.
Well, who's the youngest guy here?
So I like the stream. I just sat down at the like a little coffee place yesterday, and I put my phone on. There was a Wi-Fi there. It was like sort of like a Starbucks, and I was just drinking my tea and watching the fight.
So you watch the boxing at Starbucks. That's the future of boxing.
That's
right
the sort of like what
Right.
everyone's going for, right, in
Right.
the industry.
Yep.
And I think, and the stream was great. It wasn't stopping for me until it actually crashed, and then But before that, it was actually great. And I feel like, if in fact the problem was the bandwidth, which basically they did not forecast well how many people will tune into the fight, and they didn't purchase enough servers to support the stream, then it's actually not as bad of a problem to have, where you
can fix
basically,
that, right?
yeah, you can fix it really quickly, and if it's not some kind of a technology. So if it's more of like an forecasting management, kind of like predicting how much, then I feel like Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya should not be discouraged by this, and should actually just.
Oh, they're not going to be discouraged. They got a good deal with Facebook, and I think they'll fix the technology. And
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I think we'll see it in the future. So we're going to sign off now, JP.
All right.
Say good, but you're the most interesting
Leo's
guy
ready
on
to
that.
go.
There you go. See, Leo
ready to
smiling
go,
again.
Leo.
All right,
Triple
Dave.
G, Triple
Leap
G.
in, Leo. You're ready to go, right?
We'll see you next week, folks.
See you guys next week. Thanks for
right, take care, everyone.
tuning in.
No text and drive.